In the shadow of undeath, Darion Mograine, now bound to the will of the Lich King and wielding the twisted, corrupted form of the Ashbringer, led a brutal assault on Light's Hope Chapel. Flanked by the Death Knights of Akros and bolstered by the Scourge, Darion brought ruin to the very place once sanctified by the light. But the chapel stood defiant. Reinforcements arrived in the form of Tirion Fordring and the valiant Knights of the Silver Hand, turning the tide of the battle and halting Darion's grim crusade.
Light. This place. No hope!
Have you learned nothing, boy? You have become all that your father fought against. Like that coward Arthas, you allowed yourself to be consumed by the darkness, the hate, feeding upon the misery of those you tortured and killed. Your master knows what lies beneath the chapel. It is why he dares not show his face. He sent you and your Death Knights to meet their doom, Darion. What you are feeling right now is the anguish of 1,000 lost souls. Souls that you and your master brought here. The light will tear you apart, Darion.
Save your breath, old man. It might be the last you ever draw.
My son!
Father!
My dear, beautiful boy.
What?
Father,
Is-
you have returned. You've been gone a long time, Father. I thought...
Nothing could have kept me away from here, Darion. Not from my home and family.
Father, I wish to join you in the war against the undead. I want to fight. I can sit idle no longer.
Darion Mograine, you are barely of age to hold a sword, let alone battle the undead hordes of Lordaeron. I could not bear losing you. Even the thought...
If I die, Father, I would rather it be on my feet, standing in defiance against the undead legions. If I die, let me die with you!
My son, there will come a day when you will command the Ashbringer, and with it, mete out justice across this land. I have no doubt that when that day finally comes, you will bring pride to our people, and that Lordaeron will be a better place because of you. But, my son, that day is not today. Do not forget yet.
Touching. He's mine now.
You betrayed me. You betrayed us all, monster! Face the might of Mograine!
Pathetic.
You're a damned monster, Arthas.
You are right, Fordring. I did send them in to die. Their lives are meaningless. But yours... How simple it was to draw the great Tirion Fordring out of hiding. You've left yourself exposed, Paladin. Nothing will save you. Apocalypse!
That day is not today. Tirion!
Arthas!
What is this?
Your end.
Impossible. This is not over. When next we meet, it won't be on holy ground, Paladin.
We have all been witness to a terrible tragedy. The blood of good men has been shed upon this soil. Honorable knights, slain defending their lives. Our lives. And while such things can never be forgotten, we must remain vigilant in our cause. The Lich King must answer for what he has done, and must not be allowed to cause further destruction in our world. I make a promise to you now, brothers and sisters. The Lich King will be defeated. On this day, I call for a union. The Argent Dawn and the Order of the Silver Hand will come together as one. We will succeed where so many before us have failed. We will take the fight to Arthas, and we will tear down the walls of Icecrown! The Argent Crusade comes for you, Arthas!
So too do the Knights of the Ebon Blade. Although our kind has no place in your world, we will fight to bring an end to the Lich King. This I vow!
After the fall of the Lich King atop the Frozen Throne, a champion of Azeroth, one who bore the Runeblade Shadowmourne, discovered a mysterious unsealed chest among Arthas' remains. Inside was a soul shard, and within it the essence of Alexandros lingered. Returned to Darion, the shard stirred, and for one final time Alexandros appeared. He offered his son heartfelt thanks for breaking the chain of damnation. The memory of Darion's sacrifice, Alexandros said, had been his only anchor against the torment of Frostmourne. With his final words spoken and his soul at peace, the Ashbringer's spirit faded at last, free. When Alexandros was finally freed from Frostmourne, his soul did not pass into the peaceful afterlife he had once imagined. Instead, it was cast into the war-scarred realm of Maldraxxus, a brutal dominion of flesh, steel, and necromantic power, governed by the necrolord covenant. It was a realm forged for battle, where the dead rose not as mindless thralls, but as champions of cosmic war. At first, Alexandros knew only horror. Awakening in this alien place surrounded by bones, decay, and monstrous forms, he saw only a reflection of the Scourge, the very force that had claimed his life and twisted his legacy. In his eyes, the necrolords were no better than the servants of the Lich King, and his wrath burned hot and righteous. But his fury was met with steel and conviction. Margrave Crexus, a towering and unyielding being of the militant House of the Chosen, approached him not as a captor, but as a warrior seeking understanding. Through Crexus' guidance, Alexandros came to see the truth. The Maldraxxus were not mindless undead. They were defenders of the Shadowlands, guardians of power and honor forged through endless battle. Here, glory and duty still had meaning. In this new existence, Mograine reclaimed an old name with a new purpose. He chose to remain the Ashbringer, a symbol not only of vengeance, but of unbroken spirit. His prowess and leadership soon earned him a place among the elite. He rose through the ranks of the Chosen, until only two bore the title of Baron, Alexandros and Vyraz. With his ascent, he turned once more to the forge, commissioning the gifted bonesmith Hammer to craft a new blade, Fatebringer, modeled in the spirit of the Ashbringer. The forging was no small task. Mograine fought and bled for the rare materials required, including a skull of mysterious, possibly unholy origin, its past unknown but its power undeniable. But not all in Maldraxxus fought with honor. Vyraz, who had once fought beside him, harbored treacherous ambitions. Secretly allied with the corrupt House of Constructs and the dark sorceries of the House of Rituals. Vyraz betrayed his brother in arms. Mograine was cast into the Maw, a nightmarish prison of endless torment, a place from which none were meant to return. In his absence, the mantle of Baron was passed to Draka, who would continue to fight in Mograine's stead. But even in the Maw, the will of the Ashbringer did not flicker out. For Alexandros, Mograine was forged in both light and death, and even death itself had not heard the last of him. After the fall of Baron Crexus, Maldraxxus teetered on the edge of collapse. With the House of the Chosen weakened and fractured, a new champion arrived, an outsider, a Mawwalker, one of the few living mortals capable of traveling between the realms of death. The hero joined forces with Draka, determined to bring order back to the embattled house.
A victor emerges! But where are their banners? Which house do they fight for?
Look closer, Garmo. We have a living mortal in our midst. Intriguing.
Zendaya, is this the meddler who thwarted our attack?
The very one.
So, this mortal witnessed your treachery. Your house is invaded Bastion, an act that betrays everything the Primus stood for. The Primus is long gone, Crixus. Where is your hunger for glory? Or has the House of the Chosen lost its appetite? We are meant to defend the Shadowlands, not conquer it. You will recall your forces, or you will answer to my blade.
I think not, Crixus. Your blade shall be broken. Slay them all!
Chosen! To arms! Leave none standing!
Outsider! Hold on. We are getting out of here. I am Baroness Draka. The House of the Chosen stands with you. Come. Margrave Crexus awaits us.
First you bring war. Now a blade of the Primus. Your legend grows, mortal. Begin your report. Emperor Primus embodied the 5 traits of the ideal Maldraxxus soldier. The ambition to rise above one's foes and the might to crush them. The insight to discern their plans and the guile to outwit them. The relentless pursuit of victory, even in the face of inevitable defeat. 5 traits, 5 runes upon the blade. The same runes etched onto the seat of the Primus. Revel, Vyraz, Draka, bring the mortal to the seat of the Primus. Let us see what unfolds.
I will scout ahead. Do not tarry, soldier.
The seat of the Primus has been locked shut since he went missing. Many have tried to open it. The Primus was a legendary weaponsmith. If we hold the key to his vault, then his arsenal will be ours. It won't be long before the other houses learn of the blade. Be ready for a fight. Crexus was right. We hold the key to the seat of the Primus.
It will do us no good if our house falls in battle first. We must not lose focus on the war.
Always ready for battle.
Report to the spearhead, recruit. We have a battle to win.
But as Draka and the Maulwalker turned their focus outward, battling threats beyond the walls, Vyraz, the remaining Baron of the Chosen, acted. In secret, he allied with the grotesque House of Constructs, and together they struck down Margrave Crexus. When Draka and the hero returned, Vyraz offered lies in place of truth, blaming the Constructs alone for the murder.
The Constructs retaliated. There were too many. They destroyed the necropolis. Crexus.
Outsider! With me! Now! Without Crexus, victory is out of reach. We must open the seat of the Primus.
And what if that hall stands empty? No. The seat is a fool's errand. We are chosen. We rely on strength of arms. We must gather our mightiest soldiers, even our missing Baron.
To deflect suspicion and rid himself of further threat, he gave the Maulwalker a dangerous task: to travel into the Maw itself and retrieve Alexandros Mograine. In truth, Vyraz did not expect the hero to return. The Maw was a realm of torment and oblivion, no place for mortal flesh. But the Maw Walker pressed forward. Early into the journey, the hero encountered a familiar soul, Darion Mograine, who had been taken during a failed assault on the realm. Freed from his chains, Darion joined the quest without hesitation.
My thanks, champion. Now that I am free, I should soon regain my strength. How long have I been trapped in the Maw? A day? An eternity? Careful. The jailer's eyes are everywhere.
Guided by the elusive broker Venari, the two carved their way deeper into Perdition Hold.
Ah, I was curious what the Moorsworn were searching for. You are that mortal who swept through and thwarted the jailer's festivities. I am Venari, a humble broker trapped in this land of torment. I have a proposition for you. Come.
Why would you aid us, broker?
Your presence here draws attention. The sort of attention that's bad for my business dealings. No offense, of course. I do not wish to draw attention with a fight.
How long have you been trapped here?
Longer than you have, mortal. That is all you need to know.
There, among the shadows and screams, they found him. Baron Alexandros Mograine, broken but not defeated.
This must be your missing Baron.
Who is there? Must warn the Margrave.
I know that voice. Can it be? The Baron is my father?
Darion, after all this time.
He had come to the Shadowlands with purpose, with duty, but not with the hope of reunion. The possibility of finding his father's soul had never crossed his mind, and yet, there he was. With Venari's aid, Alexandros was freed. Together they escaped the Maw and returned to Oribos, where Alexandros revealed the truth.
Straka, we must return to Maldraxxus at once. Margrave Crexus is...
Our Margrave has been slain, Ashbringer. The Chosen need your blade, now more than ever.
No. Then my warning comes too late. We have been betrayed by one of our own. It was Vyraz who had me trapped within the Maw. There can be no doubt that it was his hand that struck down our Margrave.
Darion had to return to Azeroth to inform his allies of what they had found, and Draka, Alexandros, and the Maw Walker went to confront Vyraz. Before everyone departed Oribos, father and son shared a quiet moment. Darion looked his father in the eye and said that he would stand by his side again, when the time was right. Alexandros placed a hand on his son's shoulder and promised they would speak again. Meanwhile, Draka had gone ahead to warn the allies of the Chosen, rallying support at the seat of the Primus. With momentum building, Alexandros and the Maw Walker stormed the House of the Chosen, seeking justice and vengeance.
So the mortal returns, along with our wayward Baron. The constructs failed to finish you, and so did the Maw. How disappointing. Your schemes have brought about your own ruin. Now we will end you! Foolish Mograine, always valuing loyalty over might. But victory lies in one's choice of allies. And with their help, I now claim the mantle of Margrave. I will bury my blade in your skull, traitor! For Crexus!
But Vyraz was ready. He met their challenge with overwhelming force. His guards pressed in, the battle turned. Even the Ashbringer could not overcome the tide alone. It was Draka who saved them. Rushing into the fray, she called them back and led them to the seat of the Primus, now under siege by Vyraz's corrupted allies. There, the Maw Walker took up the blade of the Primus, and with a single decisive strike, They opened the ancient seat's defenses.
Slay the mortal! Bring me that rune blade!
Raise your sword, champion! For Maldraxxus!
A surge of power swept through Maldraxxus. Vyraz's forces faltered and fell back. Even in death, Alexandros' war was not over. He remained stationed at the seat of the Primus, standing as one of Maldraxxus' last true champions. When word came from Xandria, the paragon of courage and Bastion, that the House of Constructs had launched another assault upon the Temple of Courage, Mograine did not hesitate. He volunteered to lead the defense himself. With him rode the necrolord-aligned Mawwalkers, and together they sought not only to protect Bastion, but to restore the fractured honor of Maldraxxus. But trust was not easily earned. Xandria made her terms clear. The necrolords would only be tolerated so long as they helped destroy their treacherous kin. The battle began at the temple's outer rim, where Mograine and the heroes disabled the construct's defenses. Side by side with Xandria, they flew toward the necrotic wake, now little more than a ruin veiled in toxic clouds conjured by necromantic filth. Tirion wings could not pierce the corruption, but Mograine had no wings. He had a blade. Within the corrupted sanctum, the Ashbringer and his companions carved through the construct necromancers. Among their cruel laughter rose a familiar voice. Baroness Antolite. Once an arena rival of Mograine, her bitterness had only festered in undeath. Still, she had never bested him, and she would not now. When the skies cleared, Xandria and her forces swept in. The tide turned. Together, they marched on the necropolis Zulramis and ended Antolite's life. Outside the temple gates, Xandria admitted that her people burned with a desire for vengeance. Alexandros offered a measured reply. They would need time, but Maldraxxus would stand with Bastion. Yet as the tension eased, Mograine turned solemn. He asked Xandria a question that had long haunted him. Why had the Arbiter not chosen Bastion for him? He had lived his life in service to the light. Was his faith not strong enough? Had undeath tainted his soul? Xandria's response was gentle but firm. The light has no dominion here. Seeking understanding, she brought him to Agthia's repose, a sacred site of reflection. There, amid Bastion's tranquil skies, Mograine meditated upon the scrolls, and in the stillness he saw the truth. His courage did not spring from devotion to the light. It came from love, the memory of his family, Elena, Renault, and Darion. Had he been sent to Bastion, those memories would have been stripped from him, his burdens discarded, his soul quote-unquote purified. But they were not burdens, they were his strength. The Arbiter had not made a mistake, he belonged in Maldraxxus. As the Mawwalkers returned to Draca with news of victory, Alexandros lingered in Bastion for a time, reflecting quietly beneath the golden skies. When he was ready, he joined Xandria at Archon's Rise to plan the next strike. Mograine proposed a bold strategy. Use the heart of Margrave Garmal, ruler of the constructs, to empower the Kyrian crest of ascension. Xandria agreed. In return, she spoke of a forsworn called Uther, whose name stirred old echoes. The allied forces of Kyrian and necrolords descended upon the construct stronghold, bringing the flying fortress Xericris to bear. Mograine and Emily led the charge at the western gate, while the Mawwalkers fought beside Xandria on the eastern front. Yet progress was halted. Garmal had unleashed monstrous juggernauts, creatures of stitched Kyrian flesh, whose hides defied ordinary steel. Reinforcements arrived. Kinthia led the Mawwalkers to Mograine's side. The Ashbringer devised a plan. The rune blade known as the Blade of the Primus would be their key. The heroes absorbed the essence of Garmal's minions into the weapon. Then, mounting his Deathrock companion Morrow, Mograine took to the skies above the Stitch Yard, unleashing the blade's power and annihilating the juggernauts in a blaze of unholy fury. With the gate shattered and Garmal exposed, they advanced to the Ripening Pond, the final bastion. Mograine and the heroes held off waves of defenders while Xandria faced Garmal in single combat. At the climax of the battle, Draca directed Xericris to fire a piercing bolt of anima, striking Garmal down. Victory was theirs. Alexandros urged Xandria to claim Garmal's heart, as planned. Soon after, Draka appeared bearing dark news. Within Garmal's private tower, she had discovered canisters of anima stolen from Revendreth. Before leaving, she instructed them to search the rest of the tower. At its peak, they uncovered the Mantle of Eternal Victory, a relic once belonging to the Primus himself. They returned it to the seat. But there was still one final enemy to face, Kel'Thuzad. The assault on the House of Rituals began with necrolords breaking down the side gates, forcing a path into the Grimorium. There they encountered Baroness Ninidar, one of the Lich's most fanatical servants. Empowered by stolen anima, she clashed with Mograine, Draka, and the Mawwalkers, but her greed proved her undoing. She drew too much power and destroyed herself in the process. Deeper still they pressed, reaching the Prime Arcanum, where Kel'Thuzad summoned a monstrous Maw Infernus. The tide nearly turned, until the Venthyr Covenant arrived, tipping the balance. With their aid, the abomination was destroyed. At last, they reached Exoramus, where Kel'Thuzad awaited. Standing over the imprisoned Margrave Sindane, the heroes spread out, Mograine and his allies holding back an endless tide of skeletal minions, while the Mawwalkers faced the Archlich directly. Though defeated, Kel'Thuzad escaped, but Sindane was freed, and pledged her allegiance to the necrolords. As silence fell over the battlefield, Alexandros stood beside Draka. "There is still much to do," he said. "Vyraz must be brought to justice, and Kel'Thuzad must be ended." Draka nodded. "In time. For now, let us return to the seat and savor what we have won." Even as the battle for Maldraxxus neared its end, the Ashbringers' war was not yet finished. When the United Covenant forces invaded Korthia, the hidden realm dragged into the Maw's clutches, Alexandros stood among them, an unwavering symbol of will and discipline. At Keeper's Respite, he took his place alongside the commanders of Death's armies, guiding the necrolord legions in the campaign against the Jailer's twisted domain. Then came the assault on Desmoterin, the fortress at the edge of damnation. Mograine led the charge, rallying the dead and the defiant in a storm of steel. By his side fought champions of legend, Draka, Thrall, and the ever-resolute Mawwalker. Together they broke the enemy lines, rescued a contingent of imprisoned Forsworn, and brought low the final traitor, Vyraz. With the betrayers slain, a long chapter of Maldraxxus came to a close. Returning to the seat of the Primus, Mograine arrived with the liberated Forsworn and the long-lost allies from Bastion. There he witnessed the culmination of the struggle. Draka was named Margrave of the Chosen, a title once carried by Crexus, now passed to one who had truly earned it. As the crowd stood in silence, Mograine turned to the Mawwalkers beside him. "With Vyraz's death," he said, "my quest to purge the corruption from Maldraxxus is complete." But his gaze did not soften. "Yet honor demands more of us. There are still lands in peril. Until they are safe, we cannot rebuild." In the quiet that followed the siege of the Sanctum of Domination, Alexandros found a rare moment of peace at Keeper's Respite, and was soon joined by his son. Darion, now commander of the Ebon Blade, had come to speak not of war, but of memory. Their conversation drifted to the past. "So Tirion Fordring took up the Ashbringer in my absence? I can think of few more worthy." There was no bitterness in his tone, only a solemn admiration for the paladin who had risen in his place. Darion gave a respectful nod, the memory still sharp in his mind. Indeed, he met the Lich King in battle and shattered Frostmourne itself. Alexandros' expression darkened. "And yet you sought to raise him into undeath. Why deny him the rest he had earned?" Darion didn't flinch. He made peace with the decision, though that peace had come at a cost. "I once told Tirion that only a silver hand can wield an ebon blade. We needed a fourth horseman, one to lead the others. He seemed the right choice." Alexandros considered that for a long moment. The burden of undeath, of legacy twisted by necessity, sat heavy on his shoulders, and heavier still on his sons. "It appears fate chose differently. This is not the legacy I meant to leave you, Darion." But Darion met his father's gaze with quiet resolve. Though the road had not been the one Alexandros envisioned, it had been walked with purpose. You taught me to defend that which I hold dear. I am proud to carry on such a legacy. The words hung in the stillness of the ruined realm, echoing with truth. And at last, the old warrior's voice softened. And I am proud of you, my son. And that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you did enjoy. Thanks for checking it out. Take care of yourself. See you in the next one.